Hi, I'm Crista Mary Mack, a Master of Public Administration student at the University of Texas, El Paso. And this video will summarize some of the subjects I studied at the U.S. Army Sergeants Major Academy, discussing how they feed and relate to an MPA. So, what did I learn during the 18 months of distance learning besides a deep personal aversion to Times New Roman size 12? Actually, quite a bit. Understanding cultural context, leadership and workforce development, and critical civilian practical knowledge are just some of the key takeaways that added to the educational pursuits at the university level that we will discuss today. The first class was the Department of Joint Interagency and Multinational Operations, or JIMO, and it speaks directly to understanding cultural context. So international relations and diplomacy in the Army are my favorite, especially when you add an austere or unique environment to it. We in the uniform are sometimes the first real contact persons of other places have ever experienced of Americans other than on a screen, and striving to make efforts to understand and respect the country and cultures we work with are non-negotiable. E pluribus unum. So, most of the 24 years of my public affairs career has been overseas, working with joint and multinational partners across Asia, the Pacific, Europe, and the Middle East. One big takeaway from this class: multi-domain operations. One of the greatest force multipliers is to send young soldiers on a partner nation exercise to work alongside counterparts with similar jobs. Medics with medics, tankers with tankers, and so on. It is a great opportunity for other nations to meet and work with Americans and learn from us. After JIMO, we have DOW, the Department of Army Operations. Understanding cultural context can apply across the U.S. military as well, as we all have different systems, processes, and expectations. Multi-domain operations, or MDO, fits into both the JIMO and the DOW. The curriculum enforced the concept that we must see past our green suits. Whenever the Army moves anywhere, we work with the Navy and the Air Force. We aren't autonomous as a land force. Civil military operation itself is common as well. And this class truly showed the importance of understanding that and more. It's our job to communicate this understanding across the force. Command leadership. Regarding leadership, all aspects of the academy seem to lean to and return to better leadership and management, but there is also an entire block dedicated to this aspect of this topic called command leadership. Everyone has their own style of leadership. Of everything we were taught, servant leadership has always inspired me. Some other lessons integral to successful leadership are acceptance of change and dedication to pursuit of creative growth within an organization. The Army is an organization that improves with the changes we implement. Implementing processes, encouraging a more creative process during training, such as allowing more junior leaders to join senior planners during the military decision-making process, or MDMP, or giving leadership opportunities during field training exercise are some examples. Workplace ethics. Establishing and sustaining a positive ethical climate is a necessity. Workplace ethics are essential at all workplaces, and the military is no exception. Being the example is one of the aspects understood from junior and middle management, and it doesn't go away as we reach these senior ranks. Personal and moral courage are intertwined. The ability to face fear, danger, and adversity are also connected to the beliefs of what is just and right by individuals. One of the greatest challenges for a senior leader are not just establishing a positive ethical climate, but also when arriving at a position where the faith of the team has been damaged by a negative climate and is damaged by cognitive biases. It's harder sometimes to rebuild a team. Power can affect moral courage negatively and positively. When I first experienced poor leaders, I was given the advice to respect the rank, not the person wearing the rank, to see past it and learn from it. Not everyone can do this, and no one should have to do this, but it helps. So this curriculum teaches a myriad of approaches, including some of these that we've discussed. when sustaining and maintaining an ethical command climate in both war and peace. Both are dependent on living the same values. Ultimately, the emotional intelligence or EQ skills of the individual senior leader, how actions can fit into the commander's intent and the mission itself, that determines a response. One final responsibility gleaned from workplace ethics training is knowing that all eyes are on you and to be the steady guide of what is right and to be the right example. Professional studies. Organizational and strategic leadership is a broader stroke teaching that the impact of our actions is exponential in nature. Sometimes careers and mindsets clash and require translating across branches and staff sections as well as normal communications. There are always challenges in the workplace at all levels, and new spheres of influence bring additional challenges such as engaging one's organization in large-scale combat operations and multi-domain operations. As areas of responsibility and spheres of influence expand, leaders must maintain a C5 mindset. So that's command, control, cooperation, collaboration, and coordination. These parallel HR management practices are in those that we studied in UTEP. So professional studies connects civilian practical resources with military programs, and there's some other incredible takeaways. It's imperative for CMO or civil military operations when conducting domestic disaster relief that we work together across interagencies and know how. Another useful example for the Guard and Reserve, especially when they're deployed or mobilized, several laws and organizations exist to help keep their employment. So there are many ways that we need to know how to work together. There you have it, folks. Public administration and the military and how they support one another. Plus, the bottom line, there may or may not be occasional escape from the Times New Roman size 12, but that's okay. I might just have developed a permanent case of Stockholm Syndrome at this point for that font.